Before we start the video, ComicTom.com, bad idea has taken over our box. One per box, Planet Death #1, Ryan Benjamin, ASM 300 homage. We have two different versions of that cover, but we are debuting Banana #1 exclusively in the box. You can't get this at LCS's. There are no retailer variants. This is one of the most exclusive comics that we have ever distributed, and it's an exclusive to the Mystery Mail Call. ComicTom.com, we have teamed up with Mike freaking Allred for half the boxes and Raymond Gay to do a McFarlane Torment homage, and we are doing every single McFarlane Torment variant cover that exists. Not kidding. Let's start the video. When is a good time to buy a comic book? Well, a lot of keys sold this week. Let's see if now is the time.
Happy 4th of July weekend, everyone. We have a very fitting book here at number 10 on the list. G.I. Joe number 318, the Negative Space Storm Shadow cover. This is selling for $25 average. The negative space craze started a couple years ago, and it has not slowed down at all. And since John Tyler Christopher was one of the first ones to really make it big, here's another name that you should be following if you're a fan of these type of variants. Francis Portela, he's known as Francis Portela Art over on Instagram, did this amazing variant. Something that's flying under the radar as well is that he actually had done a previous variant for issue number 311. Now that was a 1 in 10, but it featured Snake Eyes. So if you're a fan of the original G.I. Joe run, which I know I am, you should really pick up the Storm Shadow and the Snake Eyes variants, done both by Francis Portela.
Have you hit the subscribe button yet? We've officially broken 7 years covering the most trending comic books in the world every single week without ever skipping a beat. Number 9 on the list, we have Doctor Strange #1, courtesy of Ironheart. The last 2 episodes. Coming out in 2015, we're seeing $10 average sales, $65 for a CGC 9.8, but that was back in February. The rumors started over a year ago that the first appearance in this book, Selma Stanton, was going to appear in Ironheart. Well, we actually saw a sign earlier in the series that essentially confirmed that her appearance was going to take place, but who knew it was going to take place in episodes 5 and 6? And also, who knew that Disney Plus would drop the first 3 episodes one week and then the final 3 episodes the following week? It's crazy, but Ironheart is out completely. The whole series has officially dropped. So fair warning, we're going to have a lot of spoilers about Ironheart, but I will say after the coverage we made a couple weeks ago, me stating that I was really enjoying the show, clearly the community is like very divided. I don't think I've ever been flamed in the chat as much for having such a hot take about a show that was made for teenagers, mind you, but I digress because clearly Zelma is being set up for a future specifically with another antagonist featured in the show, but more on that in a little bit, which is causing a 600% increase in copies sold this week.
All right, guys, let's take a break from Flaming Tom right now and talk about number 8. This is actually something that is really cheap, something that nobody was specking on, and it might actually be good, especially if you're a Punisher fan. Number 8 on the list, Punisher 4 from the 2000 Marvel Knights series. This is the first appearance of Ma Nucci, and yeah, it's a $3 average price right now with a 500% increase in copies sold this week. This Garth Ennis run is a must-read for any Punisher fans, and you know that this is one of the ones that John Bergdahl was reading to be able to make his character for the Punisher. Ma Nucci, again, she was a person who her 3 sons were killed by Frank Castle, so she makes a vigilante task force to hunt him down and try and kill him. In the movie, we end up having the Punisher. This is the 2004 movie that had Thomas Jane as the Punisher, and he ends up fighting the Russian. Well, if we have an opportunity to have this plot line happen in the new Punisher television series, I know a lot of people would be very, very happy. Since there's already a Punisher task force made of vigilante cops who are trying to take down Frank Castle, this wouldn't be that much of a stretch.
Dude, I love that 2004 movie. It's so bad, but the best part was the Russian, who also appears in this Garth Ennis run.
John Travolta as the bad guy. Oh yeah, I love it.
This is a run that people like to read because it's so freaking wild. It's so weird. I mean, that's just classic bonkers Punisher in this. And this is also what the 2004 movie was based off of. The best part of that movie was the fight scene between Frank Castle and the Russian, who appears in this run first. So if you're specking on Minucci, or if you just like the 2004 movie, pick up the first appearance of the Russian, also super cheap.
You'll see his cameo in issue 8, full appearance in issue 9, and finally you end up seeing the fight that's in the movie in issue 10. You might as well pick up the whole run.
Which brings us to number 7 on the list with The Hood #1. This is by Brian K. Vaughan and Kyle Hotz, mind you. His first appearance, which is hitting $25 average sales, $200 for a CGC 9.8. And throughout the second week of release of the Ironheart series, we are seeing a 400% increase in copies sold. And we have seen a lead-in post-credit scene that features the Hood clearly teaming up with Zelma Stanton, the character that we mentioned earlier on the list, because she is a magic user, and the Hood, by the end of the series, is looking to expand his magical abilities. Apparently, it is a hot take, but Anthony Ramos, in my opinion, killed it in this role. His character design was really cool. His portrayal of the Hood was excellent. I mean, he looked so cool with both of the guns when he went full Hood. And of all the antagonists, which there are a couple anti-heroes, if you would, in a short 6 episode, quite impressive how much character development there actually was. I mean, we even got Zeke Stain, who's Obadiah Stain's son, which is a full circle connecting Ironheart to the first Iron Man film. Ironmonger, the first MCU villain's son, debuts in this series, which I thought was a very great choice.
Number 6 on the list, a book that we mentioned a couple weeks ago, Detective Comics number 880. This is an absolutely stellar cover by Jock, one of my favorite Batman covers ever. And this is on the list with a 200% increase in copies sold this week because we recently saw the original art sell for $288,000 at auction. This original art sale has propelled this book to a $130 raw sale, $439 for a CGC 9.8. The big question this week is that a lot of people were talking about the fact that this sold for a ton of money and that the original artist Jock does not see any of that. What do you think about this? Should the original artist get a cut? Is this something that we should be talking about in a future podcast? Let us know down below. I think this is a larger conversation.
Yeah, I can't imagine that he got anywhere close to that amount of money when he sold it. And that's the same story for so many creators. Let us know, because the Bags and Boards podcast is officially back. While we move on to number 5 on the list, because I alluded to this earlier, is this a good time to buy dope key comics that are trending? Because they have ebbs and flows. Ladies and gentlemen, Mephisto has officially hit the screen in live action. I never thought I'd see the day. We have Silver Surfer number 3, the first appearance of Marvel's Devil.
You can call me Mephisto.
David, I love you. I know how much money you paid for that CGC 8.5 of this book, and I know we pressed it, worked on it, got it back from CGC, and it is an 8.5 again, and it's gone down quite a little bit. But it is awesome to see Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto. Finally, the news has happened. It is here. I thought it was great.
I am not understanding why there isn't more people who are geeking out seeing this on screen. Mephisto is exactly what everyone should have expected him to be like in live action. He is ushering in the supernatural and the occult. We're talking about magic, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a little silly. As long as it's not cringy, we should be stoked, because now we have Ghost Rider in the distance, bringing back Man-Thing, Blade, where are you at? This is what the MCU needs. And we are seeing $350 for a CGC 5.0 on this book. I think this is a great time to not just pick up key books from Ironheart, but also bigger blue chip books like this, because they are so down that it's probably not going to go up anytime soon. And regardless of what happens with Sacha Baron Cohen Mephisto, regardless of what happens with The Hood, these are some awesome collectible books that you can get for sub $200 in low grade. Silver Surfer 3, sub $300 in low grade. Who cares what happens? Now is a great time if you dig the comics, if you dig the characters from Marvel lore, and if you enjoyed the show, there's some wishful thinking. You know, you could be a bit more optimistic.
With everyone's spring and summer cleaning, collections are coming in left and right.
True.
And there's a lot of books that I just don't know off the top of my head. And I use the Key Collector app that will help you find these books that you should care about.
Use code Tom101 to unlock a free 2-week subscription of the app. I use it every single day. There's always more comics to learn from. And let's move on to number 4 on the list with Netflix's attempt of creating their own superhero universe.
Number 4 on the list, The Old Guard from 2017. This was an Image comic book that a lot of people liked when it first came out. It was a great read, selling right now for $10 average sales, $75 for a CGC 9.8.
It's like one of the first books that we covered that got option status over at Netflix, wasn't it?
That and Witches were, I think, one of the first 2 books that we had talked about. This one, when it came out in 2020 as a Netflix series, not a lot of people watched it.
Dude, I never watched it.
Really flew under the radar. Such a cool concept. I mean, you have these immortal warriors that are coming to present times and they're going to kick ass and take names, which is great. And I think now we actually have enough reason why people would want to go back, watch the first series and catch up on this second series, because here in July 2025, we have Uma Thurman, who's going to be in this show now. And I love her. She kicks ass, takes names. You saw her in Kill Bill. I thought she was fantastic there. And right now, I think she's going to do a good job in this show. Go check it out. The first one was a great series. I have not watched the second one yet, and I'm planning on watching it this weekend.
And now we're at number 3 on the list with Invincible Iron Man issue number 9. This is the first full appearance of Riri Williams, hitting $40 average sales. $134 for a CGC 9.8. It's been averaging around $120. Heights cleared $800 at one point. And we're seeing an increase of copies sold of 256% the final week of release of Ironheart. So clearly, book is down. Mixed reception to the series. You know, yeah, a lot of people like it. A lot of people don't like it. Say what you will. If you watch a show and you enjoyed it, and you want to collect key comics from said show, not a better time to purchase something and have it immediately without breaking the bank. Actually, thinking about it in this way, if you're someone who wants to get into comic books and the first appearance of a character that you just saw on the screen, you can get a 9.8 for $100. What a great entry key book to add to a PC, to start a PC.
This last week, the comic book industry lost an absolute titan, a pillar of the industry. Jim Shooter shaped and created so many things in comic books. Number 2 on the list, we have the first thing he ever wrote, Adventure Comics number 346. At the tender age of 14 years old, he worked at DC Comics and ended up writing the story for this book. Not only just writing a story, but introducing 5 characters. Now, this is a fun read, and you have to keep in mind that it was written by a 14-year-old. 5 characters, but one of them is a traitor. You can pick up a low-grade copy of this for about $100, but realistically, anyone who is a comic book collector, you already own a ton of things that Jim Shooter worked on, Jim Shooter wrote, and he was the architect of Secret Wars. He started the Valiant universe after he was fired from Marvel. He did Warriors of Plasm. Not all of them can be home runs. But this guy did comic books, breathed, lived, and loved comic books from the time he was 14 until the time he passed at the age of 73. Jim Shooter, absolutely missed.
Which brings us to the number 1 most trending book in the world. And I honestly never thought I'd see the day, but you got to assume that producers just hit up as many of the dopest actors and some random famous people and said, yo, do you want to be in a Street Fighter movie? And clearly their immediate response was, yep. Number 1 on the list, Street Fighter number 1.
I saw Jason Momoa's in this. I saw 50 Cent was in this. Honestly, the fact that some of these big names are completely and totally not right for the characters doesn't matter. I'm excited. I'm all in. I'm going to put my quarters up.
That's right. $25 average sales, $164 for a recent CGC 9.8. This book came out in 1993. I was more of a Marvel guy. I played a lot of Marvel versus Capcom, which is really the only thing I know about Street Fighter is what that game taught me. But yo, if you are a fan of Street Fighter, you're a fan of Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying?
I went to Spaceport all the time. I used so many quarters, 50 cents a play, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 2, all of the above. I mean, seriously, I wasted a lot of allowances at the arcade, and this excites me.
David Dastmalchian cast as Bison. Like, this is going to be a crazy movie, and I'm here for it, causing a 1,033% increase in copies sold on a book that I think has been undervalued. I mean, dude, you could get this for like around $100 at a 9.8 all year long.
And I think this is Malibu Comics, isn't it? So this would be really early Ross Ritchie actually trying to spearhead this project. Awesome stuff. Again, thank you for releasing my childhood. And you know what? I'm glad that it is still popular so many years later.
Do you own any of these books? Are you going to buy Street Fighter? And of course, as always,
Geek responsibly.
Enough said. And that's the end of the video. Congratulations to Adam Bettis. You won this first appearance of the Hood. If you want to be like Adam, join the SMS group, our text message group on comictom.com. That's how you can keep up with all of our drops. I'm doing San Diego Comic-Con in a few weeks. You're going to want to be enrolled for that. But also, that's where we source all of our giveaway winners from. And this week, let's give away a Secret Wars issue number 1.
This giveaway is to commemorate Jim Shooter, an absolute legend in the industry.
Enough said.